Hello, folks, and welcome to episode 110 of the Social Liability Podcast, the podcast where we discuss those folks in our lives that violate the social contracts that we all agree to live by. I am your host, The Raspberries, with my co-host, The Buck, bringing you new and interesting stories from the far reaches of the internet. And Buck, a lot of these stories are just downright depressing this week. They really are. There's no strikingly funny stories. They're all just bad.
Well, I got nothing to say, man. I mean, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Well, we're going to start with NBCnews.com. Dolphin stranded on Texas beach dies after crowd tries to ride the animal. A dolphin stranded on a Texas beach died after a crowd of people harassed the animal and tried to ride it. The female dolphin washed up on Quentin Beach Sunday evening and was reportedly pushed back into the sea while beachgoers tried to swim with it and ride the sick animal. She was ultimately stranded, and she was further harassed by a crowd of people on the beach, where she later died after rescuers could arrive on the scene. Harassing stranded sea animals causes stress and can also be dangerous for people who interact with them, but it is also illegal, rescuers said in this post. Violating the Marine Animal Protection Act can lead to civil penalties up to $11,000 and up to a year in prison. If a live dolphin or whale stranded in Texas, please do not push the animal back to sea. Do not attempt to swim or interact with them. Do not crowd them, the Texas Marine Mammal Stranding Network said. Ultimately, a person at the beach called Quentin Beach County Park. That's weird. For assistance. The park called the incident a tragedy. What the fuck is wrong with people?
Yeah, no kidding, man. No kidding. That is just atrocious.
Now the whole concept of where they're saying don't like push it back in the water, I don't really, that would not be the first thing that popped into my head. My first thought was, oh crap, there's a dolphin. Oh crap, it's alive. Okay, it doesn't belong here. I'd get another dude or something, pick its butt up, take it back out in the water, and let it go. I don't understand the concept of trying to swim with it and ride it and stuff afterwards. It's obviously distressed. Put it back in the water. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
You don't need to mess with it, man. Like, it's already having a bad enough day.
Yeah.
It's already having a bad enough day.
The rescue group saying you shouldn't put it back in the water. Not something that would have occurred to me, but okay, they know better than I do because they do it all the time. My wife called the other day and said, "Hey, the wiener dog brought a rabbit up to the door. What do I do with it? I'll be home." The rabbit was fine. He was just did what rabbits do and not moving. He's like, "Just leave me alone. Leave me alone." So, we kind of corralled it into a corner and put a cage up until nightfall. That night, we let it go. We don't need to do anything else. Animals don't really need our help all that much. A dolphin's going to dolphin, a rabbit's going to rabbit, and a shark's going to shark, Buck.
Indeed, a shark will shark. So, what do we score the consensus here, man? Like, where do we go with this, man?
When you harass an animal to death, you get a 5.
Thank you, sir. I'll co-sign that, man. Mm-hmm.
Screw you and everything about you. God dang. Our next story comes from casino.org. Yes, there is a website, casino.org. Outdoor sex near the Strat lands grandpa to tear part of victim's ear. That's just a story that's a headline just screams social liability podcast, does it not? A man remained in jail this week after he allegedly tore off of a piece of a woman's ear. The injury occurred during an alleged forced sex outdoors at the Las Vegas Strip near the Strat Hotel, Casino, and Sky Pod. Okay, well, suddenly it's lost its appeal. Samuel Gurry Jr., 45, of Salem, Oregon, was celebrating the birth of a grandchild when the assault took place early Tuesday morning. Yeah, he is charged with sexual assault resulting in substantial bodily harm, kidnapping, and battery. During a court appearance later this week, Las Vegas judge Holly Stobsky set Greer's bail at $500,000. He was in custody as of Friday in the Clark County Detention Center. If convicted, he could face many years in prison. The victim told police that she and Greer met at an identified location in Las Vegas. She later accompanied him to the area adjacent to a bus stop near the Strat. She told police he seemed nice, but she wasn't interested in any sexual acts, according to a report from KLAS. However, at one point, the victim performed a sex act on Greer, according to KLAS. The incident was captured on a nearby surveillance camera because, Las Vegas. During the incident, Greer allegedly hit and punched the victim in the face, according to the police reports. Several passersby reported seeing Greer hit the victim. Metro police were notified about the attack by an employee at the Strat. The worker called police at 1:30 a.m. on Tuesday. Greer was not staying at the Strat. Police did not say at which hotel he was staying. Police said he later told them he could not remember the incident. Prior to the incident, last September, a man from the jumped from the Strat casino. Well, that's irrelevant. We're not going to talk about this. We're just going to go on about the Strat. I don't think so. So let's deep dive this, Buck. Grandpa was in Sin City experiencing some sin, and he hooked up with her, saying at an undisclosed location. So I'm going to say that it was someplace where maybe we shouldn't have been, or perhaps it was a place that would make the victim possibly seem like less of a victim.
Perhaps. That's a good assertion to make.
Yeah. I'm not saying this is what did happen. I'm saying what this screams to me, the way this is written, is dude hooked up with a stripper.
That's kind of what I'm saying too, and not bashing anybody's occupation. Just that's what this looks like.
Stripping's perfectly legal, and I've met some awesome strippers in my time. But whatever. It's a job. They're doing their job. Whatever. I don't have anything against it. Heck, I don't even have a hell of a lot against hookers as long as they're clean. But I digress. Punching somebody in the face. I mean, what constitutes that? Nothing. I mean, that's the answer. Nothing. Nothing constitutes that. Especially when you're in the when a sex act is being performed, unless that's what you're into, and you're both consenting and everything. But in this particular instance, I dare say it was not.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like the consent was in the factor here, or else it wouldn't have escalated so far as to the courts. So, dude hooks up with the stripper, starts getting himself a blowjay.
Allegedly.
Okay, so dude allegedly, he's soliciting something from somebody, from this female. Okay, and during the act, we'll assume he's getting himself a blowjay, and starts punching the girl in the face.
I mean, it could have been the Cleveland Steamer. We don't know.
Yeah, you know what? Guy's freaky, obviously. But so, wow. Why did the article seem to point out that he was a grandpa? Is that relevant, or is that just shock factor in your opinion?
I think just shock factor, because he was allegedly in Las Vegas celebrating the birth of a grandchild.
Okay.
I think it's just so they could say, Grandpa! Okay.
I agree. I don't think it had anything to do with him celebrating the birth of a grandchild. I think that was a little bit of a poetic, license there.
Right. So what do you want us to score, Gramps?
I'm going to give him a 4.
Indeed, I can co-sign.